Radiant Rising Worldwide World. That is the WHIRL wide world. As those who know, as those who glow, and as those who are showing what we're knowing are whirling, swirling, and twirling into a brand new paradigm, unlike has been experienced since the last golden age. We are entering a time that is so magnificent as to be unbelievable. Why? Because we've only heard whispers, we've only seen glimpses of the last paradise on earth. My name is Lutishia Lovely, and I thank you for taking the time out to click on that link so that for just a few moments, you and I can be in sync about all that is going on. Be in sync, be in harmony, be on one accord, all be on code to bring in through the power of our mouths, through the power of the word, bringing in, helping to usher in, helping to co-create with Mama Universe and Daughter Earth. Shout out to Sister Myra. The type of environment, the type of space that we want to live in. My path of evolving out of religion went through the denomination known as Word Faith or Word of Faith. If you've ever been in that world, you'll know names such as Dr. Frederick Casey Price, who is considered, I believe, to this day, the father of faith teaching, or Dr. Bill Winston, who my parents still watch to this day. You will be familiar with scriptures like faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word. You will remember in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was the Most High. The scripture says God, and that is a term that I choose not to use for the divine one whom I am referencing, the sovereign one, the infinite energy, infinite intelligence, the spark, the divine spark. There's so many names. Choose, take your choice, take your pick, right? There were scriptures such as the power of life and death are in the tongue. Speak things that are not as though they were. Out of the heart, the mouth speaks. All of those to say that what we say matters. What we say is important. And in the full circle moment, preacher's daughter that I am, PK that I am, Spirit has charged me with reminding us of the power of the tongue and the power of our words. And that's what I would like to spend just a few moments doing with you in this Radiant Sunday sharing, is to remind us of how powerful we are, that as magical and alchemical beings, as electrical currents in this energetic vortex called planet Earth, ours is the power that ignites, ours is the spark that makes inanimate objects real. Ours is like, our words are like the breath of life, where man can become a living soul, and where the words that are spoken by inorganic beings are made real. It is through our words. It's through the word of the melanated. So I would just like to remind all of us and invite us to, in this season, as we enter a full moon tomorrow, called the strawberry moon, because with our ancestors, it was often time where strawberries were harvested. It's not like we'll look up and see a red moon. That is why it's called strawberry moon by some. As we're in this energy, I invite us to be very intentional with what we say. I invite us to celebrate those things that we have spoken into existence in a positive way. And I would like for us to take a moment and acknowledge those plans designed by the inorganic that we have given power, that we have put the battery in the back of through repeating what they say without a rebuttal. And I must say that I am troubled by the amount of our conscious, spiritual, alchemical leaders whom I respect, who I hear repeating over and over the agenda of the inorganic one as though it is law. Saying, oh, well, they're going to do this, and then they're going to do that, and then this is going to happen, and then that is going to happen, and that's just the way it is. And what are we going to do? Because when they do that, then they will have this, and they will control that. Y'all, it's driving me bonkers. Because all of that power, all of that alchemical energy, all of that melanated, majestic magic is being used to usher in a reality that we say we don't want. Under this full moon, I invite us to reject that which we don't want. I invite us to use the power of our words to transmute that which we don't want. I invite us to use the power and energy of this moon to put a period to that which is over already in the spirit realm, and that is this matrix. Y'all, it's over. For this matrix, it's already done in the spirit world. In the spirit realm, we're already in the golden age. In the spirit realm, Babylon has already fallen. In the spirit realm, the truth has already come out. The lies have been exposed, and the consequences of those lies has already been meted out to the guilty party. In the spirit realm, the world is already right side up again because of the influx of divine feminine energy that is once again balancing with the divine masculine energy, bringing harmony into a dissonant universe and causing the inversion to become right side up again. It's already done in the spirit realm. The only thing stopping it from happening in the earth is us. Because when one hears, oh, they're creating data centers that will be able to surveil the planet, the response is that will not happen. There will be no master surveillance of the planet. That is how you negate your consent, your energy, your frequency, your vibration, your magic, and your alchemy from helping to bring in that which you do not want. I do not consent to that. I do not consent to data centers. I do not consent to a digital system that will lock me up in a paradigm that I will not be able to get out of. I do not consent to a series of injections that we are mandated to take. I know that there is an alternative, that for those of us who speak this truth and who awaken to our alchemical reality, we will be living in a world where those things are not happening. 1,000 will fall at our right and 10,000 at my right hand, but only with our eyes will some of us witness the destruction created by those who have not learned how to tame the tongue. I invite those who are interested to read Psalm 91. In fact, I will put the Lutishia Lovely version of Psalm 91 in the description today because I do take creative license with some of the words that were used by King James, or Queen James, as he was known to some. And I take a deeper dive into those words that were written in Hebrew and use the revelation that was given to me by the Most High. I will put that in the description. This full moon is an opportunity for us to take an assessment of where we are, of the foundations we've built, of the plans that we've made. Now is the time to tweak those plans, to reorganize and reframe those things that we still have in our arsenal, in our creative vortexes to do. Now is the time to be grateful. Is there ever a time not to be grateful? However, during a full moon where things are amplified, I invite us to just sit in that energy of gratitude for that which we see, and most importantly, that which is not yet seen, but that we are speaking with our mind, body, and spirit, with our words, thoughts, and actions. And finally, I invite us to go outside. Be outside, y'all. The sun is doing amazing things to both our avatars and our spirit man. Take your shoes off, put your feet in the grass, put your feet on the ground, in the sand, in the water, in a river, in the ocean. Buy a plant, start a garden, hug a tree, talk to a bird, watch the fireflies. It's crazy here in the heartland because of all the rain. There's just a multitude of fireflies in the evening, and it's just a beautiful light show every night. Reconnect with Mother Nature, because in doing that, we reconnect with ourselves. I could go on and on because it is such a magical time outside. And as without, so within, as above, so below, with all of the fireworks that are going on outside, up in the heavenlies, up in the universe, those same fireworks are happening within. But unless you are tapped in, you don't even know what's going on. And even worse, those fireworks are being dampened because of negative energies, negative words, negative actions, because of where your focus is. So take a moment and unplug from the matrix so that you can plug into what the universe is doing, what the divine is doing through Mother Nature, through the sun, through all that exists on the earth as its creation, the trees, the birds, the animals. And please meet me next week for the first Sunday Radiant Rising. Spirit has a message for all of us that you don't want to miss. And until then, remember, you always have time. It is never too late to live your loveliest life.